Welcome into Sports Memo's Betting Podcast for July 10th. It's CFL, Every Game on the Board podcast. That's the Canadian Football League, Every Game on the Board. We're breaking it down right now with Andrew McInnis. McInnis, welcome to the podcast. How you doing?
Hey, Drew. Good to be here as always. Things are going pretty good. It's summertime, finally having some nice weather here in the east coast of Canada, and CFL season's off to a great start. So things are great. How have you been? How's your summer going?
I'm doing good, man. You know, it's MLB All-Star break, so we get a little bit of a reprieve here. So I actually got to get to the beach, enjoy a little bit, and do a little college football research. But I am interested in the CFL, man, and you're making some money. I've been tailing you, so thank you. I owe you a beer next time we're together. But, man, 10-2 on the season. What are you doing right? And if you are doing anything wrong, how are you correcting it here going into, not at least the start of the CFL season?
I think, Drew, the most cliche term I could say, but the most true would be I'm really just trusting myself, trusting my instinct, and trusting my research and my reads. Not thinking too much into it, and that's really been helping me out. But also with the CFL, you really do notice for the first, I'd say, 5 weeks, teams are not being exactly themselves, and that's really what you want to focus on is, the change from the offseason, new quarterbacks, new people on defense, new head coaches. Certain teams where they are right now aren't going to be in that spot maybe in week 14. So I'm trying to take it as a week-to-week, game-by-game process. And that's really helped me out so far this year, just taking it game by game, week by week. And we have a game here this week here with the Edmonton Eskimos and the BC Lions. We'll get into it, where these teams have already played each other. And I'm expecting a little bit different of results. So like I said, things change week to week, and that's what's the best part about the CFL. I mean, it's only 9 teams, Drew, but a lot of change and a lot of excitement either way.
Yeah, change is a great way to beat the odds makers. That is for sure. And this is the Week 5 Canadian Football League Every Game on the Board podcast. We'll have McInnis on throughout the summer talking each and every game. So if you could like on social media and retweet or share on your social media networks, that would help us out, get the word out. But and you can follow McInnis on Twitter at McInnisPicks. He's 10-2 on the season. Check out sportsmemo.com for his service. Let's get right into it here, McInnis. Edmonton Eskimos, BC Lions, and with the MLB All-Star break, it's originating most of these lines down there in Costa Rica, Panama, in the offshore markets, and I'm guessing these odds makers, they take a couple days and head to the beach, man. Can't really blame them. So we don't have lines out right now, but heck, we can still talk about the games, give a picture, and right when they open, guys, you can fire away on them, which will be, heck, who knows, in the next couple hours, next couple days, it will happen. It will happen before Thursday at 10 p.m. because that's when this one kicks off, and it's the Edmonton Eskimos, BC Lions, round 2 here, McInnis. How would you look to bet it?
Yeah, Drew, I was going to say, hopefully they have them released by tomorrow because there is a game tomorrow, so eventually hopeful to see one. And yeah, these teams have actually played each other before, and it's an interesting story with this Edmonton Eskimos team. I've talked about it numerous times, but just an outstanding job from Trevor Harris, establishing himself as the future quarterback and of this Eskimos team, and he's been outstanding. The last meeting between these two teams, Harris put up 294 yards, 75% passing completion, and also a great job from CJ Gable. And he's a guy that's going to just keep elevating his game each and every week. He's, I think top 3 running backs in the league. He could be the number 1. We'll see down the road. 111 yards, 23 carries. He's averaging 5 yards per carry, and he's someone that really steps up and really makes a difference each game for his Eskimos team. You look at the BC Lions, though. This is a team where the most consistent thing about them, Drew, is their inconsistency. I mean, this is a team where they could have a great week one week, and all of a sudden the next week look like a whole new different team. And that's not a team that I'm looking to back. 1-3 straight up, 1-3 against the spread. Not really looking too good, not profiting whatsoever. But one thing they are doing, they're 3-1 over the total, 75%, looking good in that area. And I think it'll be around 52, 53 in this game here. That's the spot I'm really going to look at in this one. I expect lots and lots of points. This Edmonton team coming off the bye, they're a little bit fresh, and I think that that's what this team needs. You can always look to improve yourself. You can always look to spread out the offense. You can always look to try new things, and Coach Moss is good with that. One thing I like about Coach Moss is that he's always trying new things and trying to expand his offense. And this Edmonton team struggled early on in the season with too many penalties, too many disappointing plays on defense. And I think, after this bye, they're going to come off and be a much new, improved team. And if you look at their performance in week 3 against Winnipeg, that was kind of that was their little bit of an eye-opener game, because Winnipeg is such a strong team, and Edmonton is only able to put up 21 points, and in that game it was fully belonged to Winnipeg, and it shocked me. The line we got Winnipeg as short faves and open up as underdogs, and I think when you look at this number here, we're probably going to get Edmonton around 5-6 point favorites, and unless BC can really clean up their act, Drew, I'm going to look to take Edmonton. Especially in this CFL, any real football league, you look to take a team off a bye, and when they're ready to go. And I know it is only week 5, but I have not liked what I've seen from this British Columbia team, and this is coming from someone that actually had high hopes for them. And I hope that they do expect change a little bit as the season progresses. But they only won, Drew, last week 18-17 against the Toronto Argonauts. And, you know just as well as I do how bad the Argonauts have been all year long so far. They've been pathetic offensively, pathetic defensively, but somehow they were able to stop this BC Lions team. And Mike Riley didn't really have his best game, but I still expect much, much more from Lamar Durant, Shaquille Johnson, Jerron Carter. Those guys weren't really there. They didn't show up, and that's what's going to happen to a team like BC against Edmonton if they don't show up here in week 5. So the lean for me would be Edmonton on the points, but I would definitely look to take the over, because both these two teams are putting up massive, massive amounts of points. Edmonton 2-1 to the over, BC 3-1 to the over. So leans for me would be Edmonton and the over, Drew.
All right, good stuff, McInnis. You can follow him on Twitter at McInnis Picks. His service available at sportsmemo.com. The rest of the CFL season, we did discount to just $299. So for under $300, you can get his full CFL service all the way through the Grey Cup. No extra charges later. McInnis, let's talk the next game. Friday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We got the Toronto Argonauts versus the Winnipeg Blue Bombers here, and doing a little kind of odds-making 101. We're looking at this. We got Winnipeg 3-0 in the West Division. You've taught me this. The West is stronger than the East. And we got Toronto 0-3, bottom of the barrel here in the East Division. This is an interesting kind of handicap for the odds makers. I would look at this. Obviously, it's in Winnipeg, too. They're going to be heavy favorites. I would put it a lot, man. I'm not interested in betting Toronto, even though I believe they covered their last game. I would put this at, minus 18, minus 20? I don't really know the key numbers like you do. Where are you putting this number at, man?
Yeah, they're going to be massive favorites. You're right in the ballpark there. I'd say, 15, 16, 17. This Winnipeg team, like you said, Drew, especially having that home edge, that's where it puts up to the 19, 20-point numbers. But it's just so interesting. I got to mention this, and this is not me patting myself on the back, but this is just me questioning what the odds makers were thinking last week, Drew. I had a 5% play on Winnipeg. They were underdogs. I got them as plus 4.5 dogs against the Ottawa Red Blacks. They're playing in Ottawa. And like you just mentioned, I've said it numerous times how much stronger the West is than the East. Ottawa's off to a great start, but that does not mean that they're 4.5 points better than this Winnipeg team. Winnipeg goes on to win that one outright 29-14. And they really have proved that they are a strong, strong team. And the thing about them is their depth. And, we saw Matt Nichols go down, and right away, Strevler comes in and picks things up right where Nichols left off. And that's what I like to see when I'm handicapping any sport, is the ability to have a backup, that number 2 guy, number 3 guy, to come in and make a difference. And, Strevler came in, passed for 78% completion percentage, and that's what you really want out of a team like that. And you look at a team like Toronto, they're pretty much the exact opposite, Drew. They're going to go out there and then try and get some stops on Winnipeg, but I can't really see them keeping this game close at all. I'd probably look at Winnipeg first half, because they're the kind of team that won't really absolutely destroy you. I feel like they would show some mercy in that second half, so maybe they'll come out really strong and slow things down a little bit.
Also, at least from points scored here, Winnipeg's only given up 58. Toronto has only scored 38. So by points scored here, just kind of a glimpse view, McInnis, we got the worst offense versus the best defense. How do you what about maybe looking towards the under here, just because Toronto's going to have such a tough time scoring?
100%, and I think that's what's been really underrated about this Winnipeg team as well. I mean, look, like last week, they only let the Red Blacks get 14 points, and this is a team that's been showing up every single week. And I think we're going to learn that more and more about this Blue Bombers team, is that they don't need to put up 30, 35 points to get the win and be successful as a football club, because their defense shows up as well and gets some key stops. I mean, in any league, in any football, it's obviously important to, have those key stops in the red zone and force the field goal rather than the touchdown. But this Winnipeg team, I've seen it throughout these first several weeks. Some games would be different, Drew, if they didn't get some key 2-and-outs, and they've been able to do that and step up big time. So I do like that. I think when you look at this one here, we're probably going to see a higher total as it opens up. I'd say around 52, 53. But it's going to – I would wait on that. I would wait for a little bit and then go ahead and take that under, because Winnipeg's going to show up on defense as well. And we do. I got to give credit, though. I got to give credit, because as much as I'm talking down upon the British Columbia Lions, Toronto did show up and keep things close again. And BC isn't a terrible team. They have some talent. So it was good to see Toronto kind of bounce back after a huge blowout the previous week and step things up. And what that really comes down to is McLeod Bethel-Thompson. He came in and was outstanding, 75%, 25 of 33 passing, 300 yards. That's what Toronto needed from them, Drew.
Yeah, and you're talking about their last game against BC, but they were at home. And they did come back. They showed heart against the BC Lions being at home. Now they're away. Do you think that changes anything?
It certainly does. And as much as I like to crap on their fan base, every football team is comfortable being at home. And, now you head into Winnipeg, one of the best teams in the league. You would be feeling a little different about it. And I think that they're going to have to show up on defense more than offense. They're going to have to get some key stops. You can't be letting Winnipeg march the field the whole game. You've got to get some, establish some possessions, establish some first downs early on in the game, and just put themselves in a winning position. But I'll be quite honest, Drew. If we get a really wacky number here on Toronto, I wouldn't be looking full game for Winnipeg. I would look for just the first half, because Toronto's going to be a team, I think, they're going to be kind of like Montreal last year, where as the season progresses, they're going to be covering the point spread, just not getting those wins.
Good stuff, McInnis. And guys, you can follow him on Twitter at McInnis Picks. He's got his 7-day all access up at sportsmemo.com for just $69. But using the podcast coupon code of Andrew, ANDREW, you can get it down to just $29. That's less than his one play. If it's a 5%, it's $30. So you can get his 7-day all access for just $29. He's 10-2 on the season. This is a great time to jump on board here. Early season CFL. Pad your bankroll for college football and the NFL. Next game up here, we got a doubleheader on Saturday. The early slate here, Montreal and Ottawa. I'm saving the team names for last because I've been told I've bucked them. Ottawa is the Red Blacks and Montreal is the Alouettes. Is that correct, McInnis?
There you go. We're good this time.
All right, man. Have at it.
Well, just looking at this game here, I got to give credit to the Montreal Alouettes from last week. I mean, that was the game that really caused me my first loss in the season. And I went back-to-back. These two teams played each other 2 weeks in a row. And this is what you got to love about the CFL, and some people hate about the league, is that the variance from week to week is so much different. I mean, Drew, maybe you can explain to me, because I don't understand how a team can go from beating someone 41-10 in week 3 and the following week losing 36-29. I mean, did Montreal just go out and find all new players and new coaching staff and disguise their players into brand new people? Because that was a whole new offense that I've never even seen before. I got to take my hat off and give respect to this Montreal team. And, Kahari Jones has been outstanding so far. He's really had been patient with this team, and I give them lots and lots of respect. And I look at this matchup here against the Red Blacks, and I think that we're going to look at an over in this one. Montreal proved that they can score. They proved they actually do have an offense. Vernon Adams Jr. stepped things up, 200 yards, but you got to love what William Stanback did. 22 carries, 203 yards, 3 touchdowns, averaged 9 yards per carry, Drew. This guy led his team, stepped up huge, finally got a pretty good performance from B.J. Cunningham, and I just couldn't believe what William Stanback did. I mean, 46 yards receiving and 203 yards rushing. I mean, he really stepped up to the plate and made a difference, made an impact for the Montreal Alouettes. And, look at this Red Blacks team. When I look at them, I just think the defense was supposed to be their bread and butter. That was supposed to be what their thing was this year. They were going to be an under team to me. They were going to be a team that gets key stops. If they're laying a big number as dogs, I would look to grab them because they're going to keep things close. But you look what they've done so far. They've struggled. They've been allowing close to 25, 30 points a game. Last week, they only scored 14 points against Winnipeg. Winnipeg's defense is far, far better than Montreal's. And I think as far as a bounce-back game goes for the Ottawa Red Blacks, this is a great opportunity here for them against a weaker Montreal defense. So I really like the change we saw from Montreal's offense. They got things together. They put out some points. So I think that will be the highest scoring game of week number 5, Ottawa and Montreal.
All right, good stuff, McInnis. Guys, the coupon code for the 7-day all access with McInnis is Andrew, ANDREW, at checkout. $40 off, normally $69, now just $29. You get the next 7 days using the coupon code Andrew at checkout. Check that out. Last game up here, McInnis, we got Calgary, the Stampeders at the Hamilton Ticats to finish us off on Saturday night, Week 5 CFL.
This is a really interesting one here, Drew, because it's two top teams coming off interesting losses. If you kind of go through it here, Calgary, against interesting matchups, Calgary here, 37-10 victory for them, except for they're missing a lot of key guys defensively and offensively, but they ended up getting the job done. This is a team that's been at the top of the league for years and years now, and everyone doubted them. They were dogs in this game. I mean, Saskatchewan went ahead and put up, Fajardi had back-to-back games with 300 yards. They put up 32 points against Toronto in week 3. They put up 41 points against Ottawa in week 2. They've just been a really, really strong team, but somehow they weren't able to do anything against that Calgary Stampeder offense and defense, and gotta love it. 37 points, with a pretty depleted, injured team. Interesting story from them, but like I talked about before, the Hamilton Tiger Cats putting up 29 points and losing to the Montreal Alouettes. So I look to see them bounce back big time. They're playing at home as the Calgary Stampeders head to the East Coast. And I think this one will be really close. I think it'll be, I'd say Calgary by just a few points, maybe Calgary by a field goal. They are traveling, like I said, to the East Coast. But even with the injuries they had, Bo Levi Mitchell has been announced. He'll be out for 4 to 5 weeks. And you talked about it last week with me, Drew. You know him better than I do. Nick Arbuckle has been a guy that has stepped up big time. I mean, I just love to see it. I love to see it, man, when you can see a guy come in and make a difference, as that backup role and come in and really say, hey, look, I know I'm not the starter, but I'm going to come in and do my thing. And he passed 19 of 22, 86% completion percentage, 262 yards, no interceptions, 2 touchdowns. You couldn't really ask for more from him, and I respect that a lot. I think he'll come out and show that same kind of consistency here in this one. But you got to wonder. Calgary lost a lot of guys on defense over the offseason. They've been involved in some track meet style games. Hamilton's defense looked all right to start the season, but what people are forgetting is that they played a lot of weaker teams like Montreal, like Toronto to start the season. So maybe that's why their defense did look so good. So I think this will be a good spot here for the over as well. Maybe even a first half over. And I'll be tweeting out some stuff, and I'm going to have some free plays written up on sportsmemo.com. So for all of you out there listening, we will have some content up, and we will have some more information regarding the lines. But as for right now, I actually would lean on the Hamilton Tiger Cats in this one for a good quality bounce-back game at home in the donut box at Tim Hortons Field. Tiger Cats are one of the teams that I like to look at home big time. Them, the Saskatchewan Roughriders, Winnipeg Blue Bombers, I'd say those are guys, the top 3 home advantages, so to speak. And the Tiger Cats certainly do have a great crowd. So that should be a great game, probably the game of the week, Drew, and I look forward to watching it. Look to bet the over and the Tiger Cats.
All right, man. Good stuff. As always, McInnis, guys, check out his rest of CFL season, just $2.99, get you all the way through November, through the Grey Cup, no extra charges later. $2.99 full season CFL. Also, his coupon code for the podcast is Andrew at checkout for a 7-day all access for less than $30. So great odds there as well. McInnis, thanks for the time. Guys out there, best of luck with your bets. We'll be back on Friday talking to Robbie Vino, do a little MLB betting podcast. Other than that, best of luck with your bets. We'll talk on Friday.